My blanket is soaked. This hotel's never gonna listen here again.
At least vitamin C doesn't stain, it actually gets stains out. So.
Maybe we'll just fingers.
Oh, it's soaked!
And
Oh my god, it's over here!
And he's got a wet spot on his bed.
I pissed myself.
Are we still alive? Yeah. Are people laughing at us?
No, they're not. They're all serious. They're asking if we're okay. Shit. It's 2:49. Not even an hour. Oh my god.
Well, that was Andy Worski, and yeah, apparently he still wets the bed. I don't know if this is a bit or not. I said if this clip existed, I'd find it and play it, and here we are. So, yeah. And that was courtesy of Medic or Fembot. So, alright, so that's a thing. Alright, so we're not here to actually talk about Eddie, though. I thought that bit was funny, so I thought I'd start off the stream with that. Today we're actually going to be talking about something that a few people have been trying to get me to cover for a while. This case of Mercedes Carrera, which, remember her, she was an interesting sort of character back in Gamergate, which, like, that was such a... And not just that, she also joined up with the center-right, new right movement, whatever you have it, like a lot of them did. Teamed up with guys like Cernovich and going about making all these anti-SJW content. And, well, let's get into this, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make many jokes out of this or not. It might, like, because of the subject matter involved, but let's just go ahead and digest this. So here's why Mercedes is making such a big news, and why a lot of people have been saying, "Hey, go talk about this."
Energizer is now a Guinness World Records holder for...
Alright, I forgot that ads playing when I'm not in it. Alright, this will just take a sec. And play this now.
Arrest accused of sexual assault against a child. The couple was arrested last week at their Rancho Cucamonga home for allegedly molesting a girl younger than 10 years old. 43-year-old Jason Whitney and 35-year-old Melinda Smith, known as Mercedes Carrera, both face multiple charges in the case. In addition to evidence in the case, investigators say they also found methamphetamines and 2 loaded handguns when they searched that home. Both suspects are due in San Bernardino County Superior Court today for arraignment.
And this is an article that was posted on the 6th of February, a few days after the allegations came out by the police. And yeah, I don't think anyone saw this coming, to be honest. As I've said before, like, it was blatantly obvious she was a degenerate. And yes, degenerates do have a tendency to engage in such behaviors as pedophilia, but I don't think anyone thought that Mercedes was into that. But apparently, yeah, she and her husband. Well, let's look at the report, because it should be noted that we don't know definitively that these things happened. That's for a court of law to determine. Let's move on to the next tab. Also, I see Captain Sweden is bringing up this Peppo Pizza guy, and he wants me to squash the beef with him. If he's got any complaints against me tonight, I'll let him on. Just send him the word, and I'll send him an invite. Alright, so this is the actual facts of the case as determined by the police. This is a place that I can't possibly pronounce this name. It's too Mexican. Turn up my mic. Give me a second. Alright, give me 1 second, then I'll read over this. All right, testing microphone. 1, 2, 3. All right. Should be working now. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to reset the mic recently. I thought it was fine, but apparently it wasn't, so let's get to it. All right. So again, this police report was posted on February 5th, 2019. Sexual acts with a child under 10 years old. HS 11 gives more description of it. Also says that it possessed controlled substance armed with a handgun. Gives the location out. The two suspects, Jason Whitney, 43 years old, from Rancho. I cannot pronounce his name. Like, how do I pronounce it? Cucamonga? Is there a place really called Cucamonga? I don't think so, but moving on. And Melinda Smith, aka Mercedes Carrera, also from the same place. There was a bit of an update here because apparently the initial police report got it wrong. The primary name for the guy was either not Jay Allen, but Damian Sins, or apparently he just used Jay Allen very sparingly. And from there, I'll just read the rest of the report, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. On Thursday, January 31st, 2019, deputies were notified of sexual acts against a minor female victim, which occurred in the city of Rancho Cucamonga. Despite detectives from the place assumed the investigation and conducted an extensive interview with a minor female victim. Detectives learned she was actually abused several times by Melinda Smith and Jason Whitney. The sexual abuse consisted of inappropriate touching, oral copulation, and digital penetration, which occurred over 4 months. Through investigation, it was determined that Smith was an actress who frequently performed in pornographic videos. It was determined that Whitney worked as a producer and director of various types of pornographic movies, web shows, and award shows in the adult film industry. On Friday, February 1st, 2019, detectives served as a search warrant at their residence and contacted Melinda Smith and Jason Whitney at their home. A search of the residence was conducted, and detectives located a large amount of evidence corroborating the victim's statement. Additionally, detectives located methamphetamine and 2 loaded handguns in the home. Detectives also learned 2 suspects had their bedroom set up where they could film or record various pornographic videos or web shows. Whitney and Smith were detained and transported to the Rancho Cucamonga, is what someone in the chat said, which I'm guessing is the correct pronunciation, station for interviews. At the conclusion of the interviews, both suspects were arrested and booked into the West Valley Detention Center on various charges of sexual acts against a child. On Tuesday, February 5th, 2019, the case was presented to the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office in Rancho Cucamonga. Again, I can't get over this name. It's just sounds ridiculous to me. Anyway, and with apologies to the people who actually live there. Whitney and Smith were detained and transported to the Rancho Cucamonga station for interviews. At the conclusion of the interviews, both suspects were arrested and booked. All right, over again. On Tuesday, February 9th, 2019, the case was presented to the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office in Rancho Cucamonga for review. After the review of the case, the DA's office formally charged each suspect with 8 counts of PC 288.7 sexual acts with a child under 10 years old and 1 count of HS 11370.1 possesses controlled substance while armed with a handgun. Both suspects were detained, bail, and remain in custody. Both suspects are scheduled to be arraigned on the above charges on Wednesday, February 6, 2019, at the San Bernardino County Superior Court in Rancho Cucamonga. Detectives believe there may be additional victims and are releasing the booking photos of each suspect. If you have any information regarding this case, you are urged to contact the Rancho Cucamonga police gives the phone number out, and that's essentially the end of the report. So what I think here, from the evidence that's gathered here by the police report and what we know so far, because you might notice that in the report it says specifically that they found evidence that corroborates with the witnesses' statements, which means at least at this time they haven't really divulged all the details of the case. There's also been rumors floating out that there was more than one victim and that they're actively looking into it. However, there's a few things that make me think that Mercedes is definitely guilty, or at least is very, very likely to be guilty. And that's the first off, what kind of child who would just vouch to describe these things to the police? Like, it doesn't really add up that a child would be knowing about these specific acts that they have no knowledge of, and for no reason would just make lies like that. So I don't believe that she would just go up to them and just say all these things for no reason. It doesn't make any sense. The second thing is, when they got to the place, they found that there was methamphetamine there, and they had 2 armed handguns as well. And yeah, so my suspicion is ultimately that the person that's willing to have that kind of drug substance abuse with a child at the place and has guns of all things on top of that, I'm thinking that, yeah, she's guilty. At least that's what I have to. That's the conclusion that is very likely here. And let's also get a look at their mugshots a little bit. Gonna zoom into this a little bit. I think that image says a lot. This is not the Mercedes Carrera that we know, the one with all the pretty makeup on and making herself look presentable. And they're just like pretty and I don't know. I think it just speaks for itself. The look, the stare in the eyes, the redness of it, the facial expression. Yeah, I don't think that I don't think that this is the face of an innocent woman. And this is the husband. Also has this, and we can also look at his face, staring with those dead eyes into the camera. Doesn't look too happy about this predicament. And yeah, I don't think either one of these people are particularly good individuals, and I think an image says 1,000 words right there. Alright, so there's a little bit more information I have from that, and I got a series of images here about the charges that were filed, and also in addition to that, where they're booked, etc. This is from the Superior Court of California, County of San Bernardino. Some of the chat comments, this is months old news. Well, yeah. I didn't know there was a time limit on when I could discuss something. Sorry to burst your bubble there. It says, and I'm not going to go over every little detail here. I'll just skim through that. The main thing I think is the charges, because I think that since the time of when they were pressed to now, there's been updates. And yeah, another comment from the chat says, didn't Carrera use to throw around accusations of others being pedos? Yes, she did. She threw around a lot of them, which this is another reason why this makes this show shocking. It's like, I remember that she particularly pointed the finger at Sarah Nyberg and what she did. No, at the same time, I don't think in all the cases that she said that this person's a pedo, like Sarah Nyberg, who took a picture of her neighbor who was in a state of unreposed while underage. I don't think that the evidence of calling Sarah Nyberg, or I should say calling him a pedophile, I don't believe that's unwarranted. Like, that people forget that part of the story, that yes, he took a picture of his neighbor in his her underwear. Like, that's not this, just because one pot calls the kettle black doesn't mean that it's not black. In any event, so charges here, I believe, are on this page or the next one. My bad. Here they are. Right, and it looks like there's 7 counts or 6 counts of sexual abuse against a minor, one count about possessing controlled substance while armed with a loaded firearm. Now, it makes me wonder about this particular charge, and maybe someone who's a little bit more legal savvy than I am, but does this mean that Mercedes actually pulled a gun on the people coming after her? Like the cops came to the door and they pointed a weapon at them? I don't think that'd be the case. I think maybe it's the possession of the gun, as in the ownership, at the time. All right, I'm getting confirmation from the chat that's no. All right, I think that's correct, since if that were to be the case, I imagine more charges would be pressed. But I don't know, just kind of a weird one that the charge would be possessing of a controlled substance while armed with a firearm, as opposed to meth being the crime in the first place. But I'm not a legal expert, and I certainly don't know much about law in Texas, so, or California for that matter, wherever this is. Moving down a bit. And the charge is more listed over here. This is also the husband's bits, which he also seems to have the same number of charges against him. And yeah. And then there's more information about where they're being detained. I'll add these links into the description after the stream is over. Okay. All right, and someone says that, yep, you'd see the charge of being assaulted with of an officer with a deadly weapon. Yes, that would be correct, definitely. All right, but what else can we really take away from this exactly? Because, like, honestly, I'm not really sure. I think it's just a surprising and very shocking thing. I know I've heard some people say that they were, like, defending Carrera, but I don't know by how much. Like, I've seen a couple of people try to do a GoFundMe, which they took that down because they don't allow fundraisers for criminal charges, and they don't want to be. I don't think any of these guys want to be caught funding money for a pedophile that's actually an actual child molester. And yeah, I would actually agree with Miles' statement here. Gamergate is full of spurks. There is no doubt about that. Speaking of which, we'll get to the state comment in a moment. There is another thing I want to show, because Mercedes did release a statement about the charges. And let's pull that up. This is what she had to say in response to all this. This is a week after she was arrested, and after this, it was blown up. And I'll read it out. Last week, my husband and I were arrested on charges of molesting my 9-year-old daughter. The absolute worst crime I can imagine. Yeah, this part right here. My 9-year-old daughter. If these allegations are true, this is even more fucked up than... if it's possible for the situation to be even more fucked up, it's there. Because not only did they just rape a child, but it was their own child that they conceived, gave birth to, and raised for a few years. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Continuing. The absolute worst crime I can imagine. The charges were filed by her father, my ex-partner, a fundamentalist Christian. Yeah, you gotta make those pedophile jokes against the old Christians. That's a good look when you're faced with such heavy accusations there. He is trying to take custody of our child from me. The charges are absolutely false and horrifying, and a last-ditch effort to keep me from contact with my daughter for the rest of my life. I am so worried for her. Her life is shattered. Life will never be the same for any of us. You are struggling to make sense of this nightmare. This is a no-bail offense, so we are stuck in jail until we are cleared. We are facing decades in prison and do not even have money for a lawyer. We do not know what to do, but I ask that you all know me for who I am, and know that neither I nor my husband would ever do anything like this to any child, let alone my beloved daughter. So, some weird things about this. I don't know if she's has been married or was dating a fundamentalist Christian. I am not sure who the father is. On one hand, Mercedes might not have a reason to lie about these details. On the other, She also claimed to be an aerospace engineer and endorsed such projects as launching a satellite in the name of Gamergate into outer space. I am not making that up. That's a thing that happened. And also, what is this that she doesn't have the money to hire a lawyer? Porn stars can do, like, there's only a couple things porn stars can do. They can do each other. They do it frequently because they're whores. But they also get paid a lot of money for it. A lot of money. And, by the way, I see some allegations against me that I have a hug box. If any of those people want to come on stream, they can send me a message and I'll let them on. Seriously. You can come on if you ask to come on. So I'm not doing into the hug box mentality. If you have a disagreement with me or something on the show, etc., you can come on and try to go ahead and make your case. That is fine. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. So, where did all the money go? Was it all spent on meth and guns? Like, what is going? Like, I'm not. My suspicion is Mercedes and other people involved with things in these stupid, kitschy, political-based movements that are pushing a movement or some other dumb message like that. They have a tendency to make big stories about themselves that are false and untrue, and they do this because they want to make themselves seem more important than they actually are. The only thing that Mercedes ever was someone who could take dick and know a bunch of nerdy, autistic shit, and claim to stand for things like men's rights and other center-right, center-left talking points that usually have little to no bearing on reality, usually don't matter at the end of the day, and it doesn't even, like, it's just silly. And no, and especially when you get caught with something like this, am I to believe that there's a conspiracy between the cops, an ex-boyfriend who's a fundamentalist preacher, and all the legal investigators involved, or this one woman who likes to tell tall tales? I'm gonna go with the side of the people that are the experts in this one. However, I will also say that, again, we don't know for certain that these allegations are true. It may be the case that she is in fact innocent. We'll have to see when the court trial happens. And there has been an update on that recently. And they did appear in court. This is again from the same website that took her statement. And they decided to go, and the defense successfully argued that they should move it to May 2nd of this year. So it's been delayed a bit, and we'll see how justice takes its course with that. And that's pretty much the legal side of things. Now, right, previously it was from April 4th, and the extension was, which was just a few days ago, and May 2nd is when this thing will go down. Now, there are some other curious things about this that I want to highlight. This is already, I talked about this a bit because someone brought it up in chat, but Mercedes would make very hefty pedophile allegations and hefty stances against pedophilia, making it part of her shtick. Because one thing, the easiest thing you can do when you're an e-celeb is go ahead and attack pedophiles, because no one likes them, everyone hates them, or at least presumably. And this is and yeah, like it's just a no-brainer. You get a slam dunk, you're able to go ahead and build your audience against it. And yeah, usually it works. Now, there are a few people that will say and do things which will push for pedophilic stuff. That's true, but they're a very tiny minority. So yeah, normal people are going to gravitate towards this. Even if you are like this weird pornographic worker who takes black dick up the ass all the time. So here they are talking about one of these pedophile advocates, and this anonymous user says, "Look at this shit. Oppressed pedo says trafficked kids equal child whores, abusing pedos." And then Mercedes responds with, what I see here is that this guy was forced out of a Vice article due to a misreading of his report on underage sex workers. And then he links more tweets of this nonsense, and she responds with, oh, got it. Didn't see that. I think pedophiles should be summarily executed to remove their genes from society. Which, yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that, Mercedes. I do think that is an appropriate punishment to pedophiles. Goes on a little bit more. And it seems to me that he's making a little... But it seems to me this guy's taking a little bit more of a nuanced position, actually. And he says, hate to be that guy, but pedo and error on my part. People with the disorder mostly don't offend, and most offenders not pedos. In fact, non-offending pedophiles exist and have reason to oppose the bastard. He's calling them ticking time bombs. Mercedes responds with, I think anyone attracted to children should be summarily executed. I'm not a peacenik, though. So not only if someone's actually committed the crime of molesting a child, she also says that people who are pedophiles should also be executed. Just for the attraction, which, honestly, I think I would mostly agree with. I don't really see much of a reason not to execute him. Just saying. And there's been a bunch of other statements I could go over, but I'd pretty much be going over the same talking points. And I see Captain Sweden wants on. Captain Sweden, what you can do, I'll send you, if you want on, let me know, and I will let you in. All you have to do is send me a DM, and I'll make it happen. In fact, let me send you a friend request since you're in the server. And as soon as you accept, I'll send you a DM, invite you on, and we'll talk about whatever your gripe is. All right, so apparently they're in a voice call, and they wanna hop on the show. So let's set that up. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right.
Hello, boss. Can I have a pussy, please?
Hey, how's it going?
Boss?
What do you have to talk about?
Yeah, why did you cry? Because people were bullying you. That seems pretty gay.
I don't know, man. That's an incident that happened 3 years ago. Why are you bringing it up?
Because it's funny.
Because it's funny? You think that things that are old shit that happened 3 years ago are funny? Okay.
Yes.
Sure. So, why do you need all your friends in order to back you up?
Not really, I mean...
Not really?
No.
Like, you called a raid on the server. I have the evidence.
Got the evidence. Are
I
you
do.
Kenny Jones?
Yeah, I do have the evidence. What's you going to do about it?
What are you going to do with the evidence?
Why do you talk like an autist?
Are you going to...
You keep stuttering and your
Because
mic keeps breaking up.
autistic.
Why do you want on a show when you can't even talk?
I use push to talk.
Use push to talk. So do I. What's your point?
That I
You
am
sound young.
autistic.
Are you like 20, 21?
I'm actually 15.
You're 15?
Yes, these people are grooming me. Send
Okay.
help.
All right. I see you have nothing to offer. Your bants are weak, and frankly, I don't want you on a show. So, do you have any last words?
Just says the nigger who fucking
Wait. Do you have any last words or no?
You should probably neck yourself.
Okay, lighters.
Nigger.
All right, so we had that hot takes from the one of the members of we had a hot take from a member of the Plate Gang. Let him out the door. Let's get Captain Sweden next. Hey, what's up?
Hey, John Kelly, what's up, man?
I don't know. What's up with you?
Okay, listen here. Name the Plate Gang.
Well, you're one of them, so.
Okay. So who is the other ones?
I mean, you can play a game.
John Kelly, nobody is the Plate Gang. The Plate Gang is like fucking 5 people. What are you fucking talking about?
Okay,
you
so
fucking
all right.
mongoloid.
So let me correct myself.
All right, name them.
Let me correct
name
them.
them.
Hang on a minute.
All right, go ahead, cry.
Hang on a second. You can come on, but you can't just talk over me, all right? So, here's the thing. The Plate Gang is a group that rolls around with e-celebs to go ahead and make themselves popular by riding their coattails because they have nothing better to do and they can't troll effectively. They need a boss or a ringleader in order to lead them around, and they're bad at it, and it shows, which is why I'm letting you on the show to begin with, to show you how bad you are at this. You have the perfect material to make fun of me, and you can't even pull that off successfully because you're an idiot. What's your response to that?
Oh, so you're gonna mute me like that? Oh, dude, that's fucking weak. Dude.
I don't care to make this a screaming match or a shouting match, so yeah, I'm gonna mute you if you talk over me.
Fucking be talking over you, you little piece of shit. What, you can't be a man and fucking talk over?
Let me get this straight. You just came here to disrupt the show and just to talk over me, so that way neither of us can have a coherent point or actually say something, right?
What are you fucking talking about, you fucking mongoloid?
Is all you're gonna do is curse on the air?
You gonna tell everybody how you cried on fucking stream because a homosexual fucking bullied you offline? And then you...
Again, I told you, don't talk over me, I'll mute you.
You kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Rebrand yourself? Are you fucking kidding me, John Kelly? And now you're gonna mute me?
Yes.
You're gonna fucking be all done.
Look. I don't know where you come from, but where I'm from, it's rude and childish to interrupt and talk over somebody. So, you want to talk, you can talk, but you gotta wait your turn, alright?
That's it. What are you fucking talking about? It's not like a master conspiracy, you fucking read.
I didn't say it was conspiracy, you idiot. People can form groups and fuck with people all the time.
Tell everybody. Who have you trolled effectively, you fucking crybaby beta bitch?
Alright, I see. That's some hot takes and hot bands right there.
Oh, I see. I have to go now. Oh, you're gonna boot me off stream as well, you little beta bitch? Huh? You gonna boot me off stream?
The Plate Gang is not sending
you gonna go cry again? You fucking homosexual? You fucking go kill yourself. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Dude, this is some weak
After all this time, you're trying to be fucking relevant? Are you kidding me? Did you even put on fucking muscle mass? Did you get out of the house?
Just like
Did you go and train because you look like a fucking twig with a...
No, I'm not trying to be relevant. I'm not trying to make myself popular. I'm not trying to be like you. I don't need attention. I don't need to go ahead and ride the coattails of guys like Ralph and guys like Zoom to get attention. I don't need validation from some failed trolling gang in order to go ahead and make myself feel good. So, what's your excuse? What are you doing? And don't dodge the question. You got to answer it. Otherwise, I'm going to mute you again. Repeat.
What is your question, Beta?
My question was, what are you doing?
Me?
Yeah, what are you doing riding the coattails of Ralph and Zoom, going ahead, trying to be their little posse, trying to get self-validation?
Coattails of Ralph and Zoom?
You can pretend
all I do is join a VC, I play my games, I mind my own business, I laugh at retards like you, and that's about it.
Okay, so let's unpack that.
What the hell do you even mean,
Let's
man?
unpack that. You're just doing your own thing.
You can't even fucking talk shit properly. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's great, Bloodsport. Let's unpack
what are you riding the corners of Zoom and Ralph?
I told you if you're going to talk over me, I'm going to mute you. I know you don't like that. I know that makes you mad, but it's still going to keep happening. So, You can either learn to wait your turn, or you can fuck out of here.
You fucking retard. Oh my god. Is that everything that you got? Or are you riding the coattails of Zoom and Ralph?
Yeah,
you fucking kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. It's what we do.
All we do is fucking hang around in a VC, make fun of people, just sit there and listen, and that's about it.
No, that's not it. We have evidence. Like, dude, I've already shown on this channel that you guys
after them or something.
Dude,
what are you fucking even talking about?
Dude, you're not familiar with this channel, are you? I've already shown that you guys covered for Ralph. I already showed that you guys engaged in the same things that you later blamed Ralph for. I already showed that you got, like, remember when everyone's saying that Ralph has a secret doxing server? And remember when you guys were all saying, no, he doesn't, no, he doesn't. Well, and then Zoom says, oh, yeah, he has a secret trolling server and a doxing server. And the reason we know is because we've helped him out. And we've been doing this for months and months. And you come in here acting all hot and all tough. Oh, yeah, I'm going to show him. He's a retard. He's a crybaby bitch. And you got nothing, dude. You're just a joke.
Like, relevant? Didn't you also do that under...
You know, maybe you should be paying attention more to the call, the Discord. Because when you get muted, people can't hear you. So if you're yelling into the microphone while you're muted, it's kind of fucking pathetic.
Crying all the time, Kelly.
Okay, any last words, dude?
What last word? That you're a crybaby beta bitch?
That's no.
You fucking mute people because you get...
Alright. That's, wow. Another victory for free speech and discourse on the internet. Anyone else wants to come in? Let me see. Let's see. We got one person saying that he wants to tell me how he can totally beat Plate Gang. Oh, this ought to be rich. You're on the air. Go.
Face, you fucking tease! Let me suck the air out of your asshole!
All right, that was another brilliant guess. Negro Joe wants in. Yo. What you got?
I don't know. You seem to be saying a lot of stuff about this Plate Gang. You
yeah,
sound
it's
like
kind of true, dude.
Well, you know when Tonka was crying about this non-existent anime mafia, this evil internet people, this group of people who don't exist, it's kind of silly.
Well, firstly, the anime mafia does exist.
Sweden is Plate Gang. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, sure. He just hangs out with you constantly. Okay.
You don't. Okay, so you're not involved.
He just admitted to hanging out with you all the time and engaging in your activities.
You don't know what you're talking about.
He was here. Everyone heard him.
Plate Gang is forming a professional Apex Legends team. All right.
Yeah, sure it is. Oh, by the way, is it just posting Pepe memes?
Roxo and Mustard and Seizure. These are the only people who are left. There's no one else who is involved.
Yeah,
in
that's great, buddy. Why'd you cover for Ralph?
What do you? Okay, cover him in regards to what?
In regards to the doxing server.
Oh, because I wanted to dox people, and also it was funny.
Okay,
like
so let me get this straight. Nick DiOrio was right about you, wasn't he?
Like, right about what? What is it?
He was right. Like, he made a very cringy and gay video, and you're aware of this video because you got really mad and pissed off when you heard it come out. But you were saying all lies, and it wasn't true.
I was dying with laughter. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, okay, dude.
I want DiOrio to make
totally believe you on that one.
That was hilarious.
Okay, I seem to remember you trying to get him fired. Is that true?
Fired from what?
Okay, you're playing stupid. All right. Anyway,
no. I mean, I fucked with him and I posted his phone number everywhere and his address, but I don't want to get him fired.
All right.
I don't know where he works.
Hey, fair enough.
No, now I do. He was what is he? He's like an assistant coach for some hockey team. Yeah, I did send an email to his bar.
Well, I'm glad you stated that for the record.
What about it?
Any more?
No, I'm saying what do you what's the point?
What do you mean what's the point?
I don't know, you brought up Nicholas DiOrio like you had a point about it.
No, I just wanted to see if you'd be dumb enough to admit to the record that you tried to get him fired because he made a dumb video about you.
Oh, I don't care. I'll admit anything. Ask me anything about this secret doxing server that Ralph was involved in.
All right, that's fair enough.
Ralph gave me the address and name of Kenny Jones's mother and father.
Okay, so first question: did Ralph ever direct or order someone to dox somebody? Because that's an allegation against him.
Yes, Kenny.
Huh?
He gave us his the tax stamp for his mother and his dead father's home.
Damn.
That he obtained through his Patreon information, or it was one of the information that he got because Kenny Jones was a pay piggy to Ralph, and he gave it to me, and or not to me, he posted it in my server where the infamous plate gang, whatever you want to call it, was, and he said, I want you to fuck with him, and we have been, because Ralph didn't like Kenny, and he knew we didn't like Kenny, so he gave it to us, and he gave us his address. I didn't know his address until Ralph gave it to me.
Gotcha. Did Zoom personally
I
ever...
have screenshots of it.
Cool. You can give me a second.
Yeah, Ralph's an unscrupulous individual.
All right, you can DM me whatever evidence you got on that. Also, what about Zoom? Did Zoom participate in any of the gay ops that he later called out Ralph for?
I don't know. Zoom's been around for a while. You'd have to ask me about something in specific because I don't keep track of all this.
Okay, so here's the weird thing.
I don't have
in a previous
ops people involved.
Gotcha. So in a previous episode on this show, I showed that Zoom told 2 different stories using the same evidence to compile together. It was mainly true, except for some key details. The first one being that Zoom was addressing the accusations that Ralph was in a doxing server, and Zoom decided to show all his discords, including one called Autism Awareness, and a few others whose names I forget. Spike Club was one of them, and he said, "Oh, what's this server about? It's the Plate Gang. They're just he made them out to be this innocent little group that just goes about posting Pepe memes and making fun of retards in Ralph's server and just fucking with them or whatever." And then later he goes on and says that look at these horrible things that Ralph has been involved with. Ralph has been busy going in the server, rolling with his fans, and laughing at people being fucked with, and ordering people to fuck with them and have them dox, etc. I think one specific example he showed of him fucking with his patrons was he tried to get one guy's stream taken down. Another case, there was some other cases, but it's been a while since I last watched it. But you get the gist of it.
Well, Ralph asked, do you say streamy?
Yeah, that was involving the streamy drama.
Yeah, Ralph asked one of the members of Play Gang to violate so he was on in his server, and he was streaming the server. So Ralph DM'd him and asked him to post gore and porn, knowingly. Specifically, he said against TOS, against Streamy Terms of Service, to get him kicked off of Streamy because Ralph didn't like him. And we did it, of course, because it was funny, not because Ralph wanted to, because we didn't like him either.
Well, that's the weird thing about it. Why? I can understand doing funny things to fuck with people. I really can. But the thing I don't get is why ever do anything that Ralph likes? I mean,
well, if I find it entertaining, I'm not gonna let the fact that someone else I don't like finds it entertaining ruin the fun.
I see.
I'm not a big fan of you, and if I do something that you also think is enjoyable, I'm not gonna stop doing it because someone I don't like is doing it or is getting a kick out of it.
Sure.
It's a bad way to operate because you're not gonna have any fun.
Sure. So I guess another question would be, is my call then that Zoom gives directives or orders to the Plate Gang every once in a while to do things?
Zoom doesn't give directives on anything. You and a lot of other people have been saying that Zoom is at the helm of everything. There's no organization. There's no leadership. If Zoom finds something that we're doing funny or entertaining, he'll join in. And if he's doing something funny and entertaining, I'll contribute whatever I could do. There's no hierarchy and there's no plans and orders of this super secret cabal of Discord niggers doing unethical things.
In that case, if Zoom did something retarded and you thought it was funny to fuck with him, would you go ahead and do it?
Well, yeah, Zoom had a bad angle of his stream last night, and someone made a shawarma edit of his neck. I'm not gonna sit here and suck Zoom's dick all day. That's kind of silly.
All right. So another question. Captain Sweden previously was talking about how he's not Plate Gang, and I've heard lots of things go on about how ex-members and Plague
The only
Gang...
people who are members of Plague Gang who even go on Discord now is me, Roscoe, Mustard, and Seizure.
Okay.
There's like 4 or 5 people. Maybe I'm forgetting a name or two, but there's all the people. Like if someone joins my server, they're not snap like that. Plague Gang. You sound like Tonka when he's crying about this anime mafia that never existed.
Well, actually, that's something that's like, I mean, I'm not saying that Tonka was correct in his accusations against Tonka. In fact, I like the fact that the anime gang was fucking with Tonka because he was a piece of shit. But there was an anime mafia. Like, there was a bunch of people lumped in there that didn't belong in that group, but it still existed.
Either which way you want to go about it. That's exactly what you're doing now. You're just lumping in everybody.
I mean,
don't like
if that's the case, if I've miscategorized...
Like the guy who came in here, you raped everyone. I've never seen this person before. He's not in any of my servers. Just because someone is fucking with you, and I'm also fucking with you. That's not. We're not one and the same. I'm not all these people.
Hey, dude, that's fair. I'll correct the record then. I'll just say.
And again, no, we're not doing anything secret. I don't give a shit if I'm on here saying that I did what I did to Nicholas Diorio.
All right, fair enough.
Or Ralph either. Like, Ralph likes to say that none of this happened, which is kind of funny. But I mean, I sent it to you. He came into my server into the VC because what he would do is he would shit talk all his pay piggies. And again, I don't like Ralph's pay piggies, so I'm not gonna stop him from shit talking them and giving me information on the people who support him financially because he thinks they're a bunch of faggots. And I can go fuck with him because he has their payment information and their names and addresses. I'm not going to stop him from doing that. And that's exactly what he did with Kenny Jones. He came in my server, gave me his name and address and his father's name and his mother's name, exactly where they live.
Do you think there's a... Well, I guess this question's more for... Actually, no, this would be a question for Zoom, not for you in particular, because I'm not seeing you make this case. I guess my question is, did you ever personally cover for Ralph? Like, did you lie to hide Ralph's activities?
It's kind of a weird question. I mean, I've lied about stuff on his show that in the end may make him look better, but it was only be for my own entertainment.
Gotcha.
Like, the shit with me, I reported the shit out of his channel, and I looked at my my report history. I flagged the shit out of his videos. When I went on the stream, I just made an alt account and went on there and lied, and it made Ralph. I guess it made Ralph look good because his server wasn't being used to organize flagging campaigns against him or whatever. But I mean, I did that, and you could say that it helped Ralph, or that I wouldn't consider that covering for Ralph because I didn't do it for Ralph. I did it because it made V look like a retard, and it was funny to me.
Okay.
Everything I do is for my own entertainment, so I'm not doing things for Ralph, and I'm not doing things for Zoom. No one has this cult-like personality towards Zoom, and he's this omniscient god who has this ability to pull us like puppets on a string and order us to do things. No one does that. That's really gay.
Yeah, that's fair. I may have said some things that are out of turn on that front. The thing I don't like though is like, I don't like the sneakiness of some of the people involved. Like, if you want to go around fucking with people, like, I have no place to tell you not to fuck with people on the internet. But what I don't like is when people are just utterly two-faced about it, trying to do this e-celeb sort of thing on one hand, and then trying to be like this edgy troll on the other. I've seen Ralph do it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right.
Stop
I apologize. I apologize. All right.
All right, that's pretty funny, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna let you play a soundboard on the stream.
I'm not leaving. I just want you to just stop, please.
All right, and I guess that's the end of it. Unless Joe, if you want to come back on, let me know. I'm gonna kick you from the call. All right. All right, moving on. Fiblier says, "Come on, let them play it." You could like about on that front. Yes, there was a moment. There was a recording of me crying out there on the internet. It happened once. Can't really do anything about that. And what can I say about it? I mean, like, they want to just keep on playing it because because they want to. I suspect, in all seriousness, all they want to do is just spread some sort of attraction on me, or maybe they're sticking around and want to see how I react to it. But at the end of the day, it's something that happened, and I'm not going to let it stop me from talking about shit. So, all I can really say is that in the context of what happened was I made two mistakes. I made the mistake of going ahead and arguing with some faggot on the internet about something that didn't matter. And then the other mistake was aside from the pride thing, it was not knowing when to quit. And the third thing was not holding the position that that was not tenable. It was a position that you could argue for free speech while arguing there should be consequences for it, and you can't. It doesn't work that way. Like, you can try to angle it in a sort of weird way, but ultimately, at the end of the day, if you support free speech, you guys support all the other degenerate shit that comes along with it, that people can advocate for, and people will advocate for. Someone's requesting I play it myself, take control of the situation, quote unquote. No, I don't think I'll be doing that. I don't want to waste my time with it defending something that I don't honestly need to be defending, because it's old shit that if people want to use that as a cudgel against me, they can try, but I'm not going to let something like that hold me down. Sorry. All right. If anyone else wants on, they're more than welcome to come on if they tag me. There's still some more stuff I want to cover first, and after that, I'll read through the comment section a bit, and then I'll wrap up the show. Okay, so the other weird thing about the Mercedes Carrera story that I want to cover is I'm going to skip over these two videos, just go to this one here. Or, hold on a second. Now, the other weird thing I've noticed that with a lot of these Gamergate e-celebs, the ones that made themselves popular, the ones that pushed a whole bunch of stuff over it, and like this one here, this connection that this porn star's pointing out, she told us all in this tweet, Mercedes Carrera, Milo is her spirit animal. And here she is saying it. And is there really a tighter connection than that? Why, yes, there is. Milo and Mercedes have met each other and have done arrangements and have networked a lot. Now, what makes this so significant, though? Why would this probable child rapist courting with Milo be at all relevant? Well, let's listen to this clip here.
So, okay, so you were a kid and you fucked all kinds of older men, correct?
No, not a kid. I'd say I was a sexually aware, promiscuous 13, 14-year-old, perfectly able to give consent, unlike the 8-year-old girl that Sarah Nyberg took creep shots of and posted sexually explicit fantasies on the internet of.
Okay.
This is what I'm getting in this video so far, but we make it.
How does everyone feel about the age of 13? Is that... like everyone's
assumption was perfectly fine, but the difference here is that I was giving informed and aware consent, and I was a sexually mature young man able to give consent and giving consent to sexual acts versus the exploitation of an 8-year-old girl.
You're saying that you reached sexual maturity at a younger age,
yes,
you know, or at an early age. Okay.
If you pardon the pun, that Milo shows concern for a paedophile priest who might get lynched, it seems...
Alright, God damn it, Paul. Go on.
No, sorry, go ahead. Just, I won't...
It's highly odd that he led a lynch mob against somebody who may have looked at child porn or taken a photo of his cousin.
Oh, okay, Paul,
not to mention the complete...
This is disingenuous in the extreme. This person clearly knows the case well enough to know that there was no supposedly may have looked at child porn. There was in fact an admission of, you know, taking pictures and sexually fantasizing about an 8-year-old. Those pictures were then uploaded to the internet, combined with information, she doxed her own cousin, combined with information that was more than complete enough for anybody on the internet to find out who that cousin was. And indeed, 10 years later, I did. And Even without the internet 10 years ago, you could have done it, and some people say they did. So, this is disingenuous in the extreme, because this person clearly knows the facts of the case and is withholding them from viewers.
Sense of awareness of how this priest may have abused hundreds of other children.
The state of the modern right.
What's his name?
Well, I'm not saying anymore.
Well, how old were you at the time? You were a little kid, and he was like what?
You're trying to.
Was he in his 20s or 30s?
Yet another feminist strategy that you have adopted.
I
told you it wasn't pedophilia.
Okay, I would say Joe Rogan doesn't normally adopt feminist strategies.
Well, this is, I mean, look, this is a Milo tactic. He used the same tactic on us. I can't believe on this show of all shows that I am arguing this position against you.
I mean,
what a horrible allegation! It's like you've spotted a trend in my argumentative method. How dare you?
If I knew someone around my age that was like, I just had sex with a 13-year-old, I would be creeped out. Honestly.
What is your age? What is your age?
I'm almost 35.
Okay, well, I'm talking about 28-year-olds.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes everything.
Well, you won't
Paul's
hear
like,
that in the
okay,
video,
cool.
I'm sure. I'm guessing, because I've never told this publicly, that you won't hear that in this video, but we're talking about 1325, 1328. These things do happen perfectly consensually. Often, by the way, it's the women who suffer in these, because what normally happens in schools, very often, is it's an older woman with a younger boy, and the boy is the predator in that situation. The boy is like, let's see if I can fuck the gym teacher, or let's see if I can fuck the hot maths teacher, and he does. The women fall in love with these nubile young men, these athletic young boys in their prime, and end up having their lives destroyed. They end up having to move schools, move the country, whatever.
Those consensual 13 to 25, 15 to 28-year-old relationships. That's that sort of thing. Boys and men, very developmental in their relationships. And, all those school boys, they want to get fucked by the teacher, the hot, sexy teacher that keeps being pushed through Hollywood. So the question is here, did or do Milo and Mercedes, given they're into weird, creepy child sex shit, at least one definitely, one allegedly, did they have some sort of connection? And there's yet another pedophile that I found in Gamergate. And this is from William Usher, who's been a very, very pro Gamergate advocate. So this isn't a case of a smear job, at least not on the surface of it, at least not as far as I can tell. Former Gamergate supporter pretended to be a teenage girl convicted of child porn. A former and somewhat prominent figure in the Gamergate campaign for better ethics in journalism named Jonathan Warden pretended to be a 19-year-old Caucasian lesbian named Hope McKenna. Warden has a criminal history of being in possession of child pornography back in October of 2006. Warden is also a registered sex offender in Tennessee. Dangerous recently did a report on Warden, which was originally uncovered by a citizen journalist who goes by the online handle of Rudderhouse. If the name sounds familiar, it's because Rudderhouse is one who uncovered a doxing ring that involved blah blah blah. The Dangerous report links to a paste bin containing lots of evidence and information on Warden's alleged antics pertaining to Hope McKenna. Rudderhouse discovered that McKenna had registered several websites that had the same number as a website that was created by a Fideox, which was the handle belonging to an Xbox Live user. This Fideox website was also used in a Flickr profile that belonged to Jonathan Warden. The phone number that McKenna had supposedly registered the sites with also belonged to Warden. Rudderhouse tracked down the location of Fideox and Hope McKenna to the same address in Tennessee and began cross-referencing the handles and found out that they all belonged to the same exact person, Jonathan Warden. The pastebin also links to Warden's criminal record, where he's registered in the Tennessee as a sex offender, which was divulged in the forum post he made under the Fideox handle on the Xbox Achievements forum back in 2009. This information also contains... Alright, so it goes on like this a bit. It shows some more evidence linking Hope McKenna directly with the guy. And yeah, this guy was another LARPer pretending to be a woman. Kind of like that Allison Prime chick, quote-unquote. And... yeah, another Gamergate supporter involved in some weird child creepy sex shit. Now, I'm not necessarily saying there's a conspiracy going on. I just find this a bit weird and uncanny that we have 3 different individuals in this movement, quote unquote, that have been that are linked to this pedophilia shit. And I'll just let you make of that what you will. Alright, so I'm going to check this. There doesn't seem to be anyone else who wants to go on stream. If you do want to come on, just in the Discord at me, and I'll put you in. Let's see. We've been going on for a little more than an hour now. Some people have complained that I haven't been covering recent shit. More so than usual, because this is really, really old stuff, I'll admit. But I do have something. Let's end this on a more relevant note, because I think our dear friend Negro Joe brought up something that I think it's worth talking about. Zoom takes a walk in New York. We're gonna play that. Start from the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and let's go over this.
And how we all doing today? We are live at Madison Square Garden looking for our good boy Ralph. I don't see him. He said he was going to be out here. Went ahead and I've put up some wonderful signs. I really hope he enjoys them. You know, I like.
Just want to comment real quick. For all the gunt jokes that Zoom's been making at Ralph, and they are funny, and they are a lot more effective at results. Zoom's got a bit of a gun himself there with that big chin he's got on him. It's kind of telling.
This one really got me. Might want to check that one out.
That's a sign saying that Ethan Ralph is wanted by the FBI as a pedophile, which, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a bit much. I'm just going to say. It is kind of funny seeing that image, but I don't know. Now he's just going about New York City trying to brand the guy as a pedo to everyone. I think if Zoom keeps this up, he's not going to be as protected as he thinks or makes himself out to be, because this is direct video evidence of Zoom spreading defamation or libel against Ralph. I don't know. I mean, Ralph also claimed that he was going to go ahead and file charges against Zoom for the quote-unquote swatting, but I didn't see that happen, so let's just enjoy this for what it is.
He's wanted by the FBI because he's a pedophile. So let's go ahead and head inside. I have to be very careful because security's around here and I might get gunted. Let's just go ahead and head on in. Well, let's ask these security guards if they've seen him. Excuse me, have you guys seen this guy? His name's Ethan Ralph. He's a dangerous child predator. He's supposed to be here tonight. He's looking for children, yeah.
Did you bring any copies of that?
I just got this one that I printed off the internet. He said he was going to be here with his wife tonight. He's been grooming children online.
Nice. You guys need some help with something?
Might want to look out for him.
Yes.
This guy's dangerous. Better watch out. Let's go ahead and switch this up.
I just want you to picture this if you're like right now. You got this guy walking around the streets of New York, like putting up signs everywhere, talking about like how he needs to find his buddy Ethan Ralph and he wants to meet him outside Madison Square Garden and how he'd like to see him there. Like this, I don't know what he was thinking with this. I really don't, because Zoom is usually smarter than this. I just don't know. It's just kind of weird to me that he go about all the city like thinking this is normal neurotypical behavior, like looking for Ralph and saying that he's a pedophile to everyone. And yeah, he does sound out of breath. I mean, maybe he went ahead and decided to go outside, and well, maybe with all that bulk, walking makes him out of breath, and that's why he has those weird inflections in his voice every once in a while. But continuing.
I have a bunch of flyers. I already put them up. Hold on. We're coming around to another one. Oh, God. What is this? Oh, my God. This dangerous monster. I'm going to be waiting for him right here at the front door. Where you at, Ralphie? I'm gun hunting.
From outside of Madison Square Garden are not allowed in the venue.
I'm going to be waiting here all day, bud.
And thank you for coming to the world's most famous arena.
You can just keep hollering over me. Arr, arr, arr. Ethan, Ralph, where you at? Hello, Ethan, Ralph. I don't see him, guys.
I mean, there's got to be just a dozen memes about this one already. This is just... The guy is just yelling out to the crowd, like to the onset of several people, calling for this Ethan Ralph guy. If any of these people recognized who this was, they just laughed their ass off, and I don't think they'd be laughing with Zoom, to be perfectly honest. I just... And yeah, I have to agree, his voice does sound particularly high-pitched. I also noticed his voice sounded this way in when he went on the Bloodsports Apocalypse stream, where Jim invited a bunch of Spurgs on to hash it out. His voice sounded kind of weird, too. I mean, in those streams, he sounds rather high-pitched, kind of faggy, and here it is again. So, it is kind of weird.
Good evening.
I'm waiting at the door. He hasn't gone in yet. The thing just opened. I've been sitting here for about an hour.
Japan Pro Wrestling presents G1 Super.
I don't see him. Where is he? I thought he was going to watch some wrestling.
Security personnel, please help us keep the lines moving quickly by placing your metal objects, such as cell phones, keys.
This is the main entrance, so he would come in this way.
Find it on the screening tables.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm looking for this guy, Ethan Ralph. They say he's inside. Is there a way to page him?
You want to talk to the MSG security.
MSG over there?
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to them. All right, let's page him. See, is there a way to page this guy so we can get him out?
I haven't seen him.
Is there a way to page him, like inside the arena, maybe? All right, let's talk to him.
He legitimately sounds disappointed that Ralph isn't there, that he can't find him. But here's the thing, though, and I know this because people pointed out to him in chat last night when this happened. And just in case, and what happened there was people explained that the venue opened at 5:30. Like he says in this video that he had to have come there 2 hours early. And yeah, like I that's it. That actually is what happened there. He actually did come in. Ralph did actually attend this event, this wrestling event, 2 hours beforehand, and people were able to look this information up online. Apparently, Zoom, in all of his research, wasn't able to find that data. He wasn't able to find that info. And there you go. That's what happened.
As you approach our security personnel, please help us keep the lines moving quickly.
Are you the supervisor? I'm looking for a criminal who's here to meet a young girl. He's here to meet a young girl. He's inside. He posted on Twitter that he was going to be inside. Is there a way to page him? There's a guy that's inside right now. His name's Ethan Ralph. I printed this out. He's been harassing young women online. He lured a young girl to meet people here.
Is he recording? What are you recording?
Yeah, I always record for safety. Oh, sorry. There you go. Talk.
Okay. He's still recording. I don't know. He's still recording.
No, it's off.
He's still recording. I don't know why. No, let me ask who are you?
I'm somebody online. I don't want this guy to take advantage of young girlies.
So you're a regular citizen?
Yeah.
You gotta go and get a police or whatever. You can't. You have no authority to come in here and get this guy out. You're not a police officer. Well, I'm not telling you to do anything, but
Jumbo Juice.
A normal citizen can't come and pull someone out of it just because you're not this. No, we can't say that.
We can't page him, guys. We can't page him.
Also, please remember that any food or drinks you bring in from outside of Madison Square Garden.
They won't let us page him, but we can wait for him.
And Zoom gets shot down. That security officer who's just like, no, this is kind of dumb. Like, just go to the FBI about it. You can't just pull up random citizens and show printed out flyers like this is credible evidence the guy's a pedophile. Like, I don't think he gets that people aren't as stupid as he thinks they are.
Okay, so we're waiting for Ethan Ralph. He's not here. I'm very unhappy. I got really early here. I've been sitting here for over an hour. No Ethan Ralph, though. So I don't know what to do, guys. Should I just wait here? Yeah, I'm gonna just wait here.
Good evening and welcome to Madison Square Garden.
I can't turn portrait mode on. It won't lock. It's easier to just hold it like this. I've been sitting out here for over an hour. I waited until exactly 7:30 to turn this on. So unless he snuck in through a side entrance, I don't see him. I have a screen rotation on. Like this. Is that better? No Gunt. I'm not happy.
You know, I would make a comment about Zoom's inability to operate a working camera, but, you know, with all the flubs I do on this show, I think I'm going to pass up on that one. I'll just let you make of this as you will.
I'm not happy, Ethan Ralph. I came all the way up here for you. Where you at, pal? I'm waiting at the garden. I have it off. Oh yeah, I should look for a trash can.
He's known since I bought my TV.
Oh wait, I think I found one. Right there. Looks like it's been recently run through. He might have eaten something there. I know he's here. Let's just gun hunt, guys. Yeah, this is the only one. This is the main entrance. I know he's around here somewhere. No, not unless I buy from a scalper and there's security right here. They'll arrest me.
Looking for tickets?
No. Yeah, I know. Fee, fi, fo, funt. I'm looking for Ralph the Gunt. I sure am fucking bored. I guess I'm gonna have to wait for him like a Gunt assassin. It's alright, I got this.
Do you have any more Gunt puns for us, Zoom? Gunt's gone wild. Doesn't stand a gunt of a chance. Let's see. I don't know. I think he just don't think these are Gunt puns are particularly landing it.
There we go. I can just wait right here like a Gunt assassin. We gunt in the dark to save the light. I'll just sit like this, wait for him to walk by. Have my hand like this, like I'm thinking about something. I'll be watching for him. He won't know. I really wanted to meet Ethan Ralph. I was excited. I hope he comes out eventually.
Is that a Frappuccino? Is this man a Starbucks drinker? Like, what kind of man drinks from Starbucks? Doesn't he know they're made of 200% soy? Like, you gotta find something better coffee than that, man. It's just not worth it.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen this man? He is a dangerous child predator. They call him the Gunt. What do you think about seeing this man? You think he looks like a good-looking man? Hell no. There's no way that he did that.
Hi. You're Zoom, right?
Yeah?
Steve?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Who are you?
I watch your stream. I live down the block.
Oh.
Hi.
Who are you? This random person watches my stream and
Is it true that you forced your girlfriend to masturbate to see me?
no.
Not?
No.
What are those audio logs about?
It's me trolling on Blab.
You trolling on Blab?
Yeah.
Even though, you know, there's audio logs you admitting it?
Yeah, I'm literally laughing with her.
She was crying.
Yeah, she was crying from upstairs and then she came downstairs and made dinner.
Okay. Bye-bye.
It's nice meeting you. That was the weirdest fucking person I've ever seen in my life. She's more out of breath than I am. Did she run here? Are these the people that watch me? This is why I don't go outside. Who the fuck would come to meet me in Madison Square Garden? That is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever had happen to me. This is why I fucking hate YouTube. Who the fuck wears a mask outside? Even I don't wear a mask when I go outside. That was the cringiest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. She kept going like this. I didn't know what the fuck she was doing. Ugh. Oh. Ugh.
Well, karma's kind of a bitch, isn't it? I see some people in the chat speculating that maybe Zoom did this as part of an op on himself. I don't know if he was doing a bit. Maybe he was, but honestly, his reaction to me, like, while it seemed very deadpan, that's just the way he is. Like, he would do lines like, I'm the gun assassin, and he looked dead-faced right into the camera. I don't think the guy has a failure to act. I just think he has a failure to emote in the normal world. And, yeah, someone pointed out, she made a fool of him. So, if the plan was to pretend to be retarded, I mean, great plan there, Zoom. You really nailed it. Yeah, I don't think it was a setup. I really don't. I think it was legit. All the indications there seem to be the case. And honestly, if it was a setup, why would he shoot himself in the head like that by whining about doing the very same thing he was doing to Ralph, someone going ahead and doing to him? And also another reason why I think it's legit is because we already know Zoom does not like hearing about the Blab videos where he trolled a bunch of people about watching child pornography with his girlfriend. So he doesn't like that being brought up. It's a bit of a sore spot. It was the thing that precipitated him calling the cops on Ralph. it's not something he's comfortable with. So I don't see him using that on himself and drawing more attention to it. It isn't something that you would do. And yeah, a lot of people say that it wasn't a troll. Like I've said before, like I'm sorry, I just don't see enough evidence for it. Maybe that'll be a subject for another episode where we'll look more into the Blab videos. But again, this is a guy who's been doing this sort of hijinks for years, and it is hard sometimes to tell what is real and what's not real to him. But in this case, I think it was a counter troll. I think either someone involved with the Kumatards or someone involved with Ralph's clique sent this chick on him, and she fucked with him. And that's what I think happened. All right. I also noticed this guy called Talk Shit was saying that I can't talk shit because apparently he doesn't think I'm allowed to. If you'd like to back that up by coming on air, he's more than welcome to. But I suspect he's tuned out by now because he's never good at banter. He gets blown the fuck out constantly, and he's like, I think that I think that the people that came in tonight, I don't think they're very good at trolling, and I stand by that. Maybe there's one or two exceptions in there, but not most of them. And Crab Lake says that's a Zoom mod and PayPig. That would explain a lot. That would explain the bareness, the saltiness, etc. So, I'm going to read through the comments real quick, and then I'm going to close this out. Alright. Let's see. Most of these I've already covered. It's weird how a lot of people accusing others being pedophiles turn out to be themselves later down the line. Yep, that's true. It is. The guns become an issue because of the drugs. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's why the law's that way. I'm not sure how I feel about that, though. I think it should be either... I'm not sure if making a specific crime for having guns while possessing drugs. It makes sense, so it's not like I really care for drug addicts getting the harshest punishments, but I guess I shouldn't really. I guess it just seems a little weird to me. But it does make sense when I think about it. I heard people complain she didn't have adequate counsel. I've heard about that too from an article that's very heavily one-sided. If I go over this again, I might bring that up, because if it's true that she's not getting a fair trial, that would be an issue, but I kind of doubt it. Again, this is someone who would make up tall tales a lot that that either seem implausible or just outright false. And then Silverstein says she's using a public defender. Yeah, that's true. She tried to crowdfund a lawyer through GoFundMe, but got showed. Yeah, that's true, and the reason it got showed is because GoFundMe does not allow criminal cases to get backing financially. So it's consistent with their policies, and also, as I stated before, like, you know, I don't think GoFundMe wants to have in the headlines that they're supporting a pedophile, even though that might not technically be the case. Weren't they looking for other victims? Yeah, I did hear rumors about that. Like I said, if I cover it again, I'll definitely be sure to look into that. A fundamentalist Christian who dated and had a child with a porn star. Yeah, that does seem a bit off. Like, especially with Mercedes being kind of an oddball person in the South herself. I don't really see a fundamentalist Christian really getting along with her. It may have been when Mercedes at a different time, or maybe it's a case of opposites attract, or I think more than likely, Mercedes. Personally, I think that Mercedes decided just made that story up as a way to deflect from the issue. Okay. Someone's complaining that I was blocking people. No, I don't block people. Like, at least not typically. Like, none of the people complaining that came here tonight that I blocked them are accurate. I did make it so that way they'd have to be friends with me in order to send me DMs, but that's because people are calling to spam my DMs, so I didn't want to have that shit, so fuck that. Moving on. More of the hug box accusations. I mean, I'd let people on, and all they had to do was scream and yell and try to spam the mic with noise for the most part. Negro Joe had one or two interesting things to say, but the rest was just, all they wanted to do was just spam dumb shit. So I don't care for that. Nice Bloodsport stream. Here we come. It's kind of, yeah, we did have a bit of a blood sports thing. I used to host more of those before it became, the in thing to do. Just, you have something you disagree with, just host the debate on a live stream and get it over with. It's a very simple form. This is before Tonka was at all relevant. So, it's not something that no one can do. As long as it's entertaining, I don't care how big a spurg you are. That's why I also watch your streams. Josh. No, that's not the real Joshua Moon, though. I think that's I'm certain that's a fake. The real Joshua Moon doesn't typically use his real name as his username. Though it is interesting, that account appeared tonight. All right, let's see. Potato Wedge said he wanted on. I didn't see that in the Discord. I must have missed that. Actually, but Potato Wedge, if you come on, I'm not going to allow the voice changer. I'm not going to allow the text-to-speech shit. I don't like that. It's gay. Going down further. Speaking of Joshua Connor Moon, he has some interesting comments here. We will swat you. John, you fucking cried, pussy. He banned me. Pfft. I mean, you're threatening swatting now? Come on, dude. And realistically, I don't care if you try to swat me or not. You get the police come over my house, they inspect the place, see that nothing happened, I tell them it's a prank call. The end. It's not really a good threat. You got to come up with better things than that. Okay, moving down. Negro Joe is cool, or at least seems like a normal person. Yeah, he came off as a little bit more level-headed than the others, at least. He's already made to like to troll and fuck around with people, so I'm not sure exactly how much of that is accurate. Well, actually, no, I don't have any reason to doubt that what he said on here tonight wasn't accurate, at least not at the moment. I'd have to see some evidence against it. So, yeah, and yeah, if it's true that, but as far as, the one point I might still disagree with is who exactly, I don't really have more to say about that right now. Okay, just kidding. Also, by the way, do not post. I hate saying this, but I don't really have any kind of moral proclivities against doxing or whatever. I just don't want my channel being taken down. So, yeah, don't post doxes of people in the chat. I don't like that. Just don't do it. I won't ban you for it, but I will have to delete that message. Sorry. And again, I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just the way it is. Okay, moving down. What I don't get about all of Ralph's new followers that he got all shocked when he didn't behave in an ethical manner. This guy's literally an ex-con. That is true. And the reason is, I think it's twofold. I think the reason for that is, one, people have memories of goldfish. They either choose to forget things or they just things pass by them and they don't remember him. And the other thing is, new people come in, they don't know about his past behavior, and they think he's a good boy, and they can give him $4,100 for a project that he's not even going to fulfill, which on the next episode I'll probably cover that a bit more, or a future episode, if not the next one. Moving on. Kelly and S4T had a meltdown audio leaked, but Kelly didn't want his dad, didn't kill his dad, so he wins, I guess. Yeah, Seattle for Truth did murder his father. That was another weird thing from another weirdo Gamergate person. I don't get how it is that so many horrible people can congregate together. Referencing about how this news is old, Silverstein says, still relevant, no one's covering the Mercedes, trying to sweep it under the rug. Yeah, I do think this story is not getting as much coverage as it should. Normally this would be something that we'd see for days and days, I guess. And I do see some people taking a very, not many people, I do see some people taking a naive approach to this where like, oh, well, you know, you can't really draw a conclusion or like, you know, say this person is, hold this person in suspicion. Well, yeah, there's benefit of the doubt. Like I said, the allegations haven't been proven, but it is reasonable to vehemently suspect her of doing these things. And unless the court shows otherwise, I'm inclined to believe that she is guilty of this. Okay. I think that's mostly it. Zoom wanted to meet Ralph, so he'd be disappointed. That is true. But at the same time, though, like all that Zoom had to do was just do a little bit more research, look up when the place opened, and then be there at that time. And then maybe he'd meet up with him. But at the same time as well, what was he expecting to accomplish if he did meet up with Ralph? Like, I mean, like, all I think that Zoom is going to be able to accomplish here is like maybe he get a funny clip or two of Ralph or whatever, but I don't think it would be worth it if Ralph ever files charges of harassment or whatever, because I do believe that a case would be building against him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ralph is consulting a lawyer about it. Oh, which also reminds me, I should probably we'll talk about this next time, but there is going to be apparently a debate between Zoom and Ralph over whether or not Zoom swatted Ralph or whatever. I don't know. I was originally planning on doing that as a topic on this show, but it was so boring. I just couldn't care at a certain point. It was just like, yeah, it wasn't swatting. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, but it was a false. It's a false police report, and I don't think that it's cool to be wasting police officers' time. But at the same time, I don't like this stupid victim mentality that Ralph's taken up. It's just dumb. Like, you should just expect things like this to happen. Are they good things? No, but you're not a victim in this. And I'll still say it. Like, you didn't have guys with guns banging on your door, making sure that wrecking the place up. What happened was a couple of guys came over. It doesn't matter if 5 cop cars came over or 2 officers came over, or what the numbers are. It all ended with Ralph shaking the officer's hand and going back on stream. And instead of just saying, oh yeah, someone called the cops on me, and just leaving it at that, it's now a big deal apparently. In fact, I think the only relevant or interesting thing is that the Nicholas DiOrio guy that I mentioned previously is apparently now working with Ralph. And these are 2 guys that previously hated each other, but now they seem buddy-buddy. It just shows you how incestuous and how two-faced these people are, how they'll just go ahead and forgive each other on a dime if it means like attacking a certain enemy X or certain enemy Y. It's like I don't get this. I do get why they do it. They want money. They want money and clicks, and it's also a matter of egos and who can go ahead and form the best alliances for the best result. not because they actually care about any of the shit they're talking about, but just so that way they can self-promote or whatever. And it's just, I don't know. I keep saying this. I don't know if people will listen. Maybe someday they will, but to me, it's completely transparent that the vast majority of these networking faggots are just that. And yeah, they shouldn't really be given any credence or whatever. All right. Oh, and I see someone has spelled nigger in the chat. Some good whatever. I don't care about that. And all right, I think that wraps everything up. Let me just check real quick if anyone wants in. If so, I will let them in. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's it. That wraps up tonight's show. And I'll do another show tomorrow night. Or, you don't know, I'm not going to say that, but I'll try to do another show tomorrow night. If it doesn't go up, it doesn't go up. And if not tomorrow night, probably soon. All right, have a good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was entertaining. Hope and see you later.